This one shows more potential than Advanix, and it involves a possible treatment for coronavirus. Now, I don't know how many of you saw this story. I'll kind of paraphrase it for you, but this came out a few days ago. Basically, a man in Florida contracted the coronavirus. He's in the hospital. The doctors essentially said, look, we've done everything we can for you. There's no treatment. I don't think we can save your life. It's best just to kind of make your final arrangements and get comfortable. And then his brother-in-law came, who was kind of a research junkie like me, and said, hey, there's this alternative treatment. It's not proven. It's not, FDA hasn't signed off on it for the treatment of this, but there's some evidence that it could treat this coronavirus. He talked to the doctor about it. He said, I wouldn't recommend it. It's not approved. And the guy says, listen, I might not be alive tomorrow morning. I might not see my kids tomorrow. I got nothing to lose. Give me the drug. Let me try the damn thing. He takes the drug. He said, I think within an hour, his heart rate got really high. He felt a little weird. He fell asleep. The next day, he wakes up. It's like it never happened. He was completely cured from this one little drug that's actually been around for about 60 years. Now, this drug in particular has the support of President Trump. He's made actually a couple of press conferences touting this drug. That's him with the, what is that guy's name? The whatever chief of health for the U.S., the vice president, all the big names up there touting this drug. And look, we know the government's in spending mode. And specifically, they're funneling tens of billions of dollars into stemming the outbreak of this virus. Now, lots of pharmaceutical companies have the ability to manufacture this drug on the large scale required to treat an entire populace. But the company that gets the federal contract to manufacture it stands to make billions. Now, as we all know, government contracts have, plenty of, I'd call slack in them, right? So the company that is chosen will pretty much be able to name their price. We're talking about a corporate windfall of epic proportions. Now, rumors are circulating, and I talked to a couple of my hedge fund buddies, that the White House has already tapped a firm. They've asked a company to ramp up productions and prepare for nationwide distribution. But we don't know which firm it is. So how can we figure that out? How do we identify which company is likely to get this deal? Let's do a little detective work. Any guesses on how we can figure out which one it is? No, John, good guess, but it's not really where we're going. Nathan nailed it on the head. Nathan said, follow the money. It's exactly right. Follow the money. So let me ask you, what would you do if you worked at this little company and you knew your firm was about to be handed the biggest production contract in history? You knew you were expecting record profits. You're probably going to see a huge surge in sales. What would you do personally? Yeah, you'd probably buy some stock in your company, right? I mean, probably a lot of it. We're not talking 100 shares. We're talking, give me 2 years' salary and dump it in this thing. So I've done a little research. I've dug through all the pharmaceutical companies, and there's only one stock with the ability to produce this drug on a scale of this net size that insiders are buying in large chunks. These are the most recent buys. Director getting in for $968,000. Co-CEO $300,000. Another $300,000. Another $975,000. $975,000. Another director in for $560,000. The smallest trade here was a VP in the specialty commercial division who dumped in $144,000, and they're probably going to keep buying until the stock skyrockets. Does anyone think they might know something? Does this look like a hint that this is the company that's going to get this insane windfall, this multi-billion-dollar contract that will transform their company and propel their stock? Well, here's some more good news. Right now, the stock trades for just under $4. But it won't stay. I can almost guarantee you it won't be here for long. If things play out as expected, investors could be looking at a 10x return. That's 1,000%. If that seems impossible, it's not. In fact, that estimate might be a conservative one. The last time this stock took off, it ran 1,904%. And this move could be even bigger. Those who've been trading for a long time know it's easier to get back to an old high than it is to make a new one. All right, a stock that's been at $48 is easier to get back to 48 than one that's reaching there for the first time. But again, let me remind you, this is just the tip of the spear. We've only seen the beginning of this historical buying spree. I've never been more excited about opportunities in the stock market. I've never seen a better time to create general wealth and make a fortune with this handful of specific stocks that stand to profit from this catastrophe and are going to buck the trend of the overall market. Odds are we'll never see an event like this again. So I urge you to take advantage of this historic opportunity. These huge insider trades are popping up every week, and our members, which hopefully will include you, stand to make a small fortune in the coming months.